Did you know that the Black Business Association of Oregon is here to help Black-owned businesses thrive?
They are now offering grants, access to capital programs, and direct technical assistance for Portland-based businesses.
Applications are open from October 1st to October 31st, so don't wait.
To apply for the grants and learn more about their programming, visit bbaoregon.org. That's bbaoregon.org.
This opportunity was made possible by Prosper Portland.
Yeah, I'm ready. Wait, what did MJ say we're calling this again? Oh, right. No, I got it. I know we're live. Welcome to Monday Night Raw, live, in person, live Raw. Boom.
Woo!
All right.
I'm a wonderful producer.
Yeah, started a little late, little technical difficulties. This is a new situation for us where, we are tweaking it as we go along. But regardless of all of that, welcome back to News of My Fiance. Raw, live, in person, live Raw with Morgan Jones and DJ Ambush reporting live from the 5 Alarm Fire that is downtown Portland.
Ooh.
Thank you for joining us. We really, really appreciate your support. Be a part of the chat fam squad and join the conversation in the chat.
Got to keep going. You have to keep going.
Big shout out to our studio sponsors, We Out Here Magazine and Spirit of Justice, for providing this dope space that we would normally be broadcasting from. Right now, due to some other situations, we are broadcasting from home. Shout out to our production team, Kyle G of Residual Audio, and Jess, making sure the show happens every Monday. And of course, shout out to all of you watching, listening, and staying engaged with us. Before we get started, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and ring that motherflubbing bell so the algorithm notices us. Become a member of the Patreon over at patreon.com/newsofmyfiance to support our expanding show so we can keep getting smarter, better, faster, stronger, and spend more time with you. Definitely want to shout out to our subscribers that has gone up to 86 now.
Ooh.
We're not that far from 100. I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Big money.
Yes.
Here for that.
Big money.
Sorry about that, Ambush. I have not been at this computer the way that I'm supposed to be in a really long time. And so not just apologies to you, apologies to everybody else. I'm stumbling right now. I'm also still sick. So
yes, there is also that.
Blame it on the brain. Yeah.
So, that's part of why we're broadcasting from home. MJ's been down for the count. Man, are we going into a full week now at this point?
Almost? Yes, almost.
Yeah.
Almost. It, yeah. I thought this is a cold and, so I'm not going to do anything outside, and LOL, even if I would have wanted to, not even a little bit.
Right.
This thing has really laid me out. I've been not sleeping almost at all at night and then sleeping in chunks during the day. Not super fun. Not great for my never ending list of things to do that I'm obsessing over every second of the day and not getting things done. So yeah. Then it got real painful all of a sudden in my ears, and I was like, WTF, what's going on here? And turns out it's likely a sinus infection. And I don't even know if I've had one of those before. I feel like I haven't. I'm probably wrong. Lily will tell me. She knows my medical history far better than I ever.
I've definitely had a sinus infection before. That shit is not cute.
So ugly.
With the what's the equilibrium off balance? The vertigo. And that was actually more prevalent with food poisoning, when I had food poisoning. Vertigo is no joke. But just like any time your equilibrium is thrown off, it's just
completely unfair.
And you were drained. The fatigue hit you hard. Y'all, I'm telling you, I told Morgan either yesterday or the day before, there was a part of me that was like slightly jealous with the amount of sleep she was getting, because it was like naps, about 15, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, lucid, awake, and then leave the room and come back. She's right back into a full nap, all the way done, just like laid out. Your body was crying for rest.
Telling on me a lot, but yeah. It's crazy business. Not a fan. I still don't feel good. My face is like hurts. I have received some relief from 2 meds that I think are supposed to kill you. I'm pretty sure. Sudafed something and Afrin another. And listen, that burns holes in brains. I don't know what people are doing. I've used it 3 times now. Want to die every time. Nope.
Not a fan of
I don't understand, how people purposely put things up their nose, because I can't handle the it was like a few drops. I thought it was supposed to be like a mist or a spray. And the fact that it wasn't threw me beyond belief. And then it was like behind my eyeballs, and it was just like, no, I feel that directly burrowing behind my eyeballs. I was not a fan.
Sorry about that.
But it is helping, I suppose.
I wish that did not happen. Had to happen that way.
Oh, man. I just looked at the chat and Kyle at some point said, I heard you, Morgan. And I feel like that's when I asked, is this thing all?
Yeah, Michelle was right there. Me too.
Shoot.
Shout out to Can in the chat.
Can Jones.
Can Jones.
Hi, Michelle. Hi, Kyle.
Boom. So,
you want to say anything about you or?
Oh, okay.
I mean, if we're doing medical situations, we might as well do them all.
So, every once in a while, I'll wake up with a swollen lip. And it's not because Morgan is assaulting me during my sleep.
I don't do that.
No.
Hands to yourself.
She's really good. Like, my bruises are hidden when that's happening.
Whoa!
However,
I feel like that's not funny, man.
I wake up with a swollen lip sometimes. And at first I was like, is it my CPAP? I don't know. Did I eat something weird before I went to bed? I have shellfish allergies. And if I interact with shellfish, my face will swell. But usually I will vomit immediately. Like, there's no playing games. If you cook some pasta, you cook some shrimp Alfredo and you take the shrimp out, I cannot eat that outfit. Like, I'm super sensitive to the point where sometimes if I am in the seafood department and it's like super fresh or whatever is going on where I'm super like sensitive to it at that time of the day or year or season or whatever, I will get nauseous. So there's never like any confusion if there is seafood involved for me. So, I mean, I stay away from it. So when I wake up with these swollen lips, it's just like, it's usually always my bottom lip. And it's gone maybe 2-3 hours into the day. This was yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yesterday, I woke up. The left side of my lip was like a balloon. It was huge. And then this is me like, all right, no big deal. It'll just go down on its own like it normally does. Halfway through the day, it moved from the left side to the center of my lip, which gave me the illusion that it was going down. But no, it was merely taking a trip around the block. Because then by early evening, it was on the right side and it was huge like it was that morning.
It was so big. It was bigger than.
Yeah. Bruh.
Okay.
So, much gratitude to Morgan and making sure I followed up with my brother, who's a physician. She's like, you need to go ahead and double check with your brother. Ask him. Let's see what's going on.
If I can just interject in the story really quickly, this is, if you'll remember, fiancés, he started by saying, sometimes this happens to me. Like, this is not the first time.
No, it's not.
At all. And this is not, I don't know, it is definitely the worst that it has ever been. But I have never seen anybody be so nonchalant and not really care what the thing is that's causing their face to swell ever in my life. Like, man's is just like, oh yeah, that's just my lip. It'll go down. What?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're over here like you didn't eat anything different. There's no like what could have happened. And that is really where the investigatory nature ended for you.
Yeah.
You were like, well,
it'll sort itself out.
It'll figure itself out.
It'll figure itself out. I've been here this long, you know?
Yeah.
Survive malaria and things of that such. It'll sort itself out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyways, followed up with my brother this morning. Sent him a text last night, followed up with my brother this morning. And he asked me about some of my blood pressure medication. And he asked me specifically if I was taking a particular one. And I said, yeah. He was like, yeah. That particular med does what you're describing. It definitely causes swelling. And you want to stop taking that immediately because it can be lethal. It can cause swelling of your throat and just close your throat up. So that definitely could have happened in my sleep, you know. But I'm on my CPAP, so I feel like there might have been, you know, some counteraction to that. You know, maybe. I don't know.
I'm a wonderful producer.
Shout out to Kyle. But yeah, I was really rolling the dice unintentionally, and that's not cool. So I immediately stopped that. He told me which medication to ask my doctor to switch for to get a new prescription. And just me not taking that blood pressure medication this morning by, I want to say, maybe 3 hours ago, the swelling was completely gone. Yeah.
How many hours ago?
About 3 hours ago.
Oh, I'm going to say
almost 7.
Not all the way gone.
Yeah.
I can see you right now. The swelling's not all the way gone.
Isn't it gone here?
No.
Well, it feels...
I mean, it's the best it's been.
Yeah.
We're not going to say it's all the way down.
Period.
No.
Yeah.
Anywho, I'm sorry to make you divulge all of this.
No, I think it was necessary. You know, we got to talk to our community, man. We got to share with them. If you have any health issues that you are, you know, deciding you'll get around to, you should get to them before they get to you, because there's always a combination of things that we just don't know what's going on. Like, I am 48 and I'm thinking I know everything that I'm allergic to, all my, you know, everything I'm going to react to, all of that. I know my body is changing. And the fact that this swelling wasn't happening consistently, like it would happen maybe every other month, every 6 weeks, it might happen. But for it to get to the point of what happened yesterday, yeah, nobody saw that coming. Absolutely nobody saw that coming. So, yeah. I was telling Morgan, I put my doctor at a disadvantage by not telling him that this is something that reoccurs. But, you know, once you're not dealing with it, you kind of just forget about it. Yeah.
I can identify with that part, but it's just there are things, babes, that I'm just like, you just you just not interested in knowing, huh?
Yeah. No. And it's not even like I'm not interested because I'm scared. I'm just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing the chat because I don't know how to do anything apparently on this computer. And Kyle says, don't blame your CPAP. Those are God's gift to medicine.
They are.
I think he's right about that.
They are. Kyle, I go nowhere without it, except for that last time I went to Seattle. But the time before the last time I went to Seattle. But yeah, man, thing's amazing. What? Love to see that. It's great. It's great. I don't even take naps on the couch voluntarily.
That's true.
Run upstairs, hop in the bed, take a nap. Got to do it.
Yeah.
So I know we had some more warm-up topics, but the way you had the doc, and I want to make sure we're following that. I want to let people know what we'll be discussing today.
Oh.
So there have been some threats against FEMA workers that halted some hurricane recovery efforts down in North Carolina. Interesting.
Well, what else would you have a militia for? Don't act brand new now, Ambush. You know?
Right. Wow.
Those Meal Team 6s got to have something to do.
Alex Proyas accuses Elon Musk of copying his iRobot designs for the Tesla's new lineup.
Is the Tesla's new lineup that bot? That robot?
It's a bot.
That looks
There's
like
also a transport. I don't know if it's like a van.
Oh, that van thing.
Yeah, and that looks exactly like the thing that would distribute the robots in iRobot. Like he didn't even try. He did not even try.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then a Portland official faces scrutiny over ties in campaign finance probe.
What?
There's an investigator that was supposed to recuse themselves that decided not to.
Whoa?
Yeah.
Okay, full disclosure, I have no idea what any of this is. I can't wait to dig in. Yikes.
Yeah. But before we get into all of that, we were scrolling Instagram independently of each other on our own devices, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But our algorithms are so similar that, like, we do spend half the day or half the time talking to each other about things we either already sent each other or one of us has already seen. And it's the same thing on Instagram as this on Twitter. And I haven't seen much of Angela's stuff in a while, thankfully. But for some odd reason, the algorithm was like, you haven't seen Angela Todd stuff in a while. Take a look here.
You should probably take a peek. You
should want to see who she's endorsing. And that's when I started looking through her endorsements for mayor and the district offices, the city council positions. And remember, this is ranked choice voting, so she's laying them out in order. And I didn't see any surprises there initially. And I'm scrolling, and I see that one of the candidates I recognize is a Black woman. I cannot remember her name. I'm actually going to pull that up now. And I was like, this is one of those situations where it's like, if Angela likes you, I'm going to fall back. I'm going to fall back on 100%.
I got questions.
Yeah, full questions. Can't do it.
If you guys don't remember Angela Todd of PDX Real.
PDX Real.
Yep. They, she and, what's his name? Jeff Church.
Oh, right.
Jeff Church, who has, some, quite the allegations, of addiction and dirty sex,
Dirty sex.
Well, I mean, everything they talk about is like, this is the worst thing people could do. And then he ends up doing all of the things.
All of it.
Including minor stuff. And she's like, oh my God, guys, turn the other cheek. Definitely. Like, what would you do if you found all of this out? Obviously, stay with this man.
Yeah, like, come on.
Obviously, because it's too complicated to get into. But yes, I'm a complete and total hypocrite for everything I tell you is terrible. This man that I love and adore does all of those things and just isn't homeless, probably thanks to me.
I'll never forget when she added us. She didn't add us. She added X-Ray.
X-Ray. She tried to.
That brought a lot of attention and vitriol to X-Ray for one of our Thursday morning broadcasts. And she was like, I'd love for you guys to bring me on the show so we can discuss and blah, blah. I'm like, girl, stop it.
Discuss what? Like, I have zero time for unserious people with unserious conversations. Zero time.
Not doing it.
Zero. I owe you nothing. Like, I don't even close to feel bad about being like, absolutely the fuck not.
Yeah. You're wild. Nah. You're wild. Nice try. That works on Fox News. That works for other outlets.
And that's where she has an open door, I'm sure. Right. That's her national media, and good for you. Right. Way to get your name and voice out there.
Correct. So looking at her, who she has ranked for mayor, of course, number 1, Renee Gonzalez. Second slot, Joshua Leak. And Mingus came in 3rd. No surprise there. Keith Wilson and then Liv Ostis in 5th position.
And I'm sorry, who was before the woman name?
Who was before Liv? Keith Wilson.
I
feel like I've seen some of his ads.
And so, yeah, I'm sure we have. So
the person that caught my eye was City Council District 2, number 1, Tiffany Penson. And I remember... Say again?
District 2?
District 2. Tiffany Penson. Then Bob Simrel, Mariah Hudson, Dan Ryan.
Fucking hell.
Will Mespelt and James Armstrong. How you feeling about that?
I feel like I hope she don't live in District 2. Like, I hope we are not in the same district. I want nothing to do with the things that she wants.
No.
Nothing. And the people that she wants to implement, which they won't, number 1, they will do nothing.
Yeah.
Renee is a fucking joke. And I just don't even know how anyone could be taking themselves seriously.
Yeah.
As in having any sort of analysis of this city, having any experience outside the one that they are building for themselves. Like, it's just, I cannot take you seriously if you believe wholeheartedly that Renee Gonzalez is going to do anything for you unless you are a small business owner.
Right.
And by small business owner, I do mean brick and mortar. I do mean that you are a presence. I do mean that we don't really care if you don't take up space downtown. Right. That's not the kind of small business we care about over at the Gonzalez campaign. I just don't know what, I don't know how you could take him seriously, the things he says seriously, with the work that you have seen him put in on city council. And you want this man to be mayor?
Absolutely.
These are the same people who are like, change. We need change. Renee Gonzalez is the same as Ted Wheeler. Better do it. What? Dan Ryan, with the job he's done in city council, he deserves another go.
That man is a ghost. He
deserves more time.
Yeah,
he's fucking for real.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to start saying what these people have produced. You're gonna have to start saying it out loud. It cannot be. I mean, because these are people we're talking about, folks. This isn't fantasy. This isn't like once they get in, I think they'll do this.
Right.
We've seen what they've done given power. Renee does everything wrong. Every single one of you guys who supported him in the first place or support him today need to be serious with yourselves.
Yeah.
He just wastes our time and our money.
And it's okay to say you made a mistake. It's okay to say you made a mistake and voted for him.
Yes.
Because that's what happened with me and Mingus. I interviewed Mingus, voted for Mingus, told you to vote for Mingus. I was like, Mingus is our guy. Not even close to our guy. Not even remotely.
Nah.
All bad.
Certain endorsements tell you a lot about who they are about to take care of once they become any sort of power within the city structure.
Yep.
So the fact that those people are endorsed by someone who doesn't do anything but sow division in this city and offer absolutely zero anything other than drama, other than shaming folks and not thinking of actual solutions, calling things that we know don't work new and innovative. Like if that's who's endorsing you, I want no parts. I want no parts. I want zero parts.
Yeah. I feel unsafe with your leadership if this person's endorsing me. Period.
Dead ass.
Yeah. So for county commissioners, District 1, Vadim,
Fucking hell, man.
District 2, of course, Sam Adams, who got a nice chunk of our
Because you know what? Sexual predators tracks. That completely tracks. She's good. One,
because it hits close to home for her?
Yeah, no, I mean, you live with one, you sleep with one. So yeah, that completely tracks that you would vote one back into office after they already been the fuck kicked out. I just like I'm sorry. I know that this is not the point, and I apologize, Amber.
No, that's the point.
I'm not letting you get through the list. This is the kind of thing that kills me. She is a person who would absolutely be on some bullshit like, you know, people don't believe men victims of sexual assault enough and you know what I'm saying? And then here you have a clear example, a 17-year-old, power dynamics off the charts. And you're just like, cute. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
How dare you? You like that laughable. Anybody who is endorsing a sexual predator has to absolutely account for that. Like, why are you endorsing someone who has, this is credible. This is not like, I don't think that thing happened.
I feel like that's the conversation, full stop. Angela Todd, why are you endorsing a sexual predator?
Why are you able to look past that what policy is it that you think this person is going to get through, that it's totally fine that a sexual predator comes in to get the job done? Like, what are we talking about? You have to explain that. And anybody listening to any people that do what we do, you have to ask that of the people you are listening to and wanting to hear more from. When they do that, they do offer that. I mean, they owe you an explanation of why they would, because if they believe that their endorsement is worthy to their audience, then they owe an explanation of why they would X, Y, or Z. And if supporting a sexual predator is one of them, you have to fucking explain yourself. Sorry, I pop them peas. My bad.
In her District 1 slate, she's got Noah Ernst, Terrence Hayes, Joe Fury, Loretta Smith, and then Doug Clove, I believe that is. Yeah, Doug Clove. Loretta being on her list also gives me some pause. Yeah, man. I'm so happy there are so many other candidates to choose from.
We do have some, as this field has been, changing, it didn't seem to make much sense to continue to follow each person when there was 108 in every district. Yeah. There's still, a solid 72. But it is, like calling down a bit, and you see who's able to, sustain some donations and campaign of some sort. There are a lot of people to choose from. There are a lot of people who have no business, and I'm not mad at those people for jumping out into it. I'm not mad, that there's this many that I think are unqualified. I do wish that there were a better example that we could show them. You know what I mean? Yeah. But there is not a whole lot I can say about the Portland City Council in which you must be incredibly steeped in any of this, because it's going to be brand new, but two, that has only gotten us to where we are and to this same performative space. Now, that said, I do not want people that do not understand what the actual issues are. And that isn't that's not me saying I don't want people that don't agree with me.
Right.
But I want to know that the people actually understand what the issue is, rather than talking about a symptom that they're going to fix that they're not going to fix. That is disqualifier off rip. If you are not talking systemic, if you are not talking, these are the things that got us to this situation. This is not unique to Portland. This is nationwide. This is only going to get worse because of X, Y, and Z. Like, if we're not doing that, you are not qualified.
No.
You're not qualified. Because at some point that means that you are actively deciding not to know what the reasons are. And so no matter what that reason is, doesn't matter to me. Disqualified.
Yeah. I mean, and also, what's your interest? What's your interest in running if you haven't done enough research to understand how to actually solve the problem? And I'm not saying that you should have all the answers, right? But there should be a strategy. There should be some policies that you can discuss,
Absolutely.
some ideas. Instead, from some of these candidates, we're getting, well, we need to just come together and figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
That's not a thing.
I am not voting for you so you can have meetings about meetings. Like, that's wild.
Absolutely not. Having meetings about meetings that could have been emails, that probably could have been text messages. Like, I don't want y'all doing any of that. I want y'all to be able to be paid the amount of money you should be paid to actually do shit. I don't want you to like twiddle your fucking thumbs all day because no one can get anything done in city government. Like, none. Sorry.
Yeah. Your apologies are the best. It's like, sorry, but I'm going to say some more shit real quick.
I mean, I definitely mean it when I say it. It is going to be worse, though. I know. I will.
Ranked choice voting overall has me excited. I'm curious to see how these results are going to pan out. And honestly, it feels like just the right thing for Portland. You know, it really, really does. I love that so many people are interested. It is gonna, the way it fleshes out is gonna show, you know, who's been out here putting in the work and forging the proper relationships with not just the community, well, with their respective communities. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Whether it's the business community, whether it's the actual community.
I can't say who your community is.
Yeah. That should be like a
at least
question off the top. Who is your community?
When you say
community, when you talk about community safety, who are you talking about?
Show light.
Gotta keep these buildings safe.
Somebody's gotta protect that property, you know?
Yeah. So there was some overlap in Angela's endorsements. There was some overlap between hers and the Oregonian endorsements.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
no surprise there, right?
No surprise there. No surprise that the Oregonian is doing the Oregonian and pretending that it gives one fuck about us. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I think they're on some gross shit. I don't really know how to describe it other than like, you're only talking to a business community. And so many of these businesses and entities and long-standing media outlets are, and it's gross. It's gross.
Yeah.
That doesn't change any of the things that we need to be materially changed. Like that doesn't do anything. To just keep talking about the business communities as if those are the only communities and the only ones worthwhile, the only ones worth a tax cut, the only ones, worth saving. Like, we're totally fine wasting our money knowingly wasting millions of tax dollars, all to pretend we're doing something so that people can just keep running on, see if they would just let me do it.
Right. Because the way I'm going to do it is differently.
Right.
And honestly, if you were from the business community, you're a small business owner and you were running for a city council position, I don't think there's anything inherently bad if the business community is your community. I think if the businesses within the community that is your community are larger organizations, larger businesses that aren't necessarily in a beneficial or reciprocal relationship with the actual community, then we have an issue. But if there were like a coalition of small businesses that were, you know, socially conscious, that were doing things no matter what day of the year it was to make a positive impact, and that was the business community that a candidate had a relationship with, then I'm looking at that completely different. Completely different.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing. Communism? No, what are you talking about? Let's not get it.
I'm a dirty commie for that one, huh?
Yeah, comrade. Just talking about people, that's just too much. I think they call that totalitarianism or something, you know? I mean, it would be great if businesses in the community cared more about the community. And it would be really great if the government cared as much about the people that make up the community, that patronize those businesses, that live in those areas. Like, if they got a look, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't get past how quick we are to do nothing and spend money doing all the wrong things and then just do this cycle again. Like, I just don't know what bag is big enough for that. Like, if you want people to be able to walk up to your downtown business, but you don't want people to be housed, explain yourself. Like, just grow up. Grow up.
Right.
Grow up. Yes, you pay for your housing in a different way than this person's about to. Grow up.
Congrats.
I'm just not understanding. I mean, I get it from the American standpoint of individualism, and why would we ever do something like help people? That's really not what government is for. Even though we made it so that businesses or corporations are people,
right,
so that they could be cared for. Help.
Unbelievable.
Make sense of some of it. Anyway.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Fuck her endorsements. Fuck the Oregonians' endorsements. Honestly, I'm looking to see a lot of these people, city council folks, saying more than what a career politician is going to say.
Right.
And if they're sounding the same, y'all, we got the wrong people running.
So,
yeah,
we're almost at the break.
Yeah.
Well, we technically at the break.
Oh, we're in the break. You're messing with my break time, is what I'm now understanding.
I don't think that was the way you're supposed to look at it.
Oh.
Me? You gonna put it all on me?
No.
Do you want to take a moment to make sure that our listeners are aware of the amazing work that our sponsor, the BBAO, has been up to?
You mean the Black Business Association of Oregon is currently offering inventory, technology, and emergency grants?
Indeed. Access to tax preparation, business credit programs, and direct technical assistance for Black-owned or majority-owned businesses based right here in Portland.
To apply, all you have to do is visit the BBAO website at bbaoregon.org to view the requirements and submit.
Do you need any of these services? It's your time. Make sure you're hopping on this and act now. Applications are open until the end of the month. They were open on the 1st, and now they're open to the 31st. So really hop on that.
Yeah, no, seriously, visit bbaoregon.org for more information, like right now.
Right. Make sure you're following them on all social media. BBA, that's at BBA Oregon on all socials to stay up to date with the announcements.
And this grant cycle is made possible through Prosper Portland. I want to get into the FEMA story.
Okay.
And the reason I want to jump directly into that is I've not been on social media for like a week. The little bit of things I've seen that you've sent, and then you'll say, did you see what I sent you on Instagram? Go look at it. 1 second. So I haven't seen a lot. What I have seen of North Carolina that still exists, I guess, I don't know. Full-blown devastation. Florida, devastation.
Yeah.
Like, we have seen terrible hurricanes and the carnage and the devastation that they leave. And we see how hard it is to get aid to people. And I can't imagine why anybody who also needs that aid would make it harder for the aid to find its way to the people super struggling. So there are these threats
right
being made against FEMA workers, which has halted some of the recovery efforts in North Carolina. Like, who are you fighting?
Like, yeah.
The government, obviously. But why are you fighting?
Right. Like, what's the explanation?
So federal disaster workers temporarily scaled back hurricane recovery efforts in North Carolina after receiving threats that they could be targeted by a militia, according to officials. The threats, which emerged over the weekend, led FEMA to halt door-to-door visits in the areas hardest hit by Hurricane Helene as a precaution. Wait, is this North Carolina or somewhere else?
Say again?
Did Helene hit North Carolina too?
Yes.
My word. I'm sorry. Everyone was everywhere, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I think Helene was the first one. Milton's the second.
Milton's the second.
I just got myself. Sorry.
Oh, you were like, did Milton hit North Carolina too?
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
What is happening?
There's got to be a reprieve somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm back. Thank you for bearing with me. The Rutherford County Sheriff's Office reported receiving a call on Saturday about a man carrying an assault rifle who allegedly made a comment about possibly harming FEMA employees working in the Lake Lure and Chimney Rock areas. The threats have raised concerns about the safety of federal responders, and authorities have identified the man as William Jacob Parsons, 44. 44.
Bruh.
44. I'm going to sit there for just a second. What? Did COVID? Yes. Don't ask the question.
What were you going to say? Did COVID affect your brains?
No, I was going to say COVID really rotted so many brains. And I don't mean the actual virus, which I'm sure it did. But I mean the experience, the sheer stupidity and the blundering of our government, large and small, and then our media for using words, like lockdowns instead of quarantine. And that is now how people say it. Like, well, in lockdowns, like
right.
Yo, like we're big fucked if this ever happens again within this, our lifetime, because these folks are primed right now to believe in absolutely fuck all. Like they don't want to believe in any of it. And if you're already out here on some, well, just let me get my hair cut, and if I die, I die. Nothing's going to make you not think that. Like, you know what I mean? You lived through it and you're still out here stuck in the pipelines that you got stuck in back then. Like, if you're a 44-year-old meals team sixer, white ISIS out here. If you are a 44-year-old.
Not white ISIS, though.
Dead ass. If that's what you're doing, you're fighting the government's response to a natural disaster.
Well, that's the thing.
You're worried about the wrong things.
It's not the government's response.
Oh.
Because they're not claiming it's their government. It's your government, Biden's government, Kamala's government's response,
Bitch,
right?
do you want bread? Like, what do you mean?
So in some of the disinformation that's out there,
You should get more than bread.
one of the claims that are made is that the government is withholding aid to Republican areas. Since you want to know so much.
That's a lie.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I just mean that's a lie. We should never even say that again.
Right.
Why? Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you. Apologies. I'm not going to be able to obviously get through anything. William Jacob Parsons, 44, still stuck. Can't believe it. Bostic, North Carolina. Parsons has been charged with, quote, going armed to I'm sorry. going armed to the terror of the public, and was released on bond after his arrest. FEMA confirmed Monday that it adjusted its operations, stating that while some activities were paused, disaster recovery centers remain open, and the agency continues to assist residents with their recovery. Out of an abundance of caution, FEMA said, workers who typically go door to door to help hurricane survivors are instead operating from fixed locations as they assess the ongoing situation. The threats come as misinformation and rumors have circulated online about the federal response to Hurricane Helene, which devastated parts of Florida before moving north and wreaking havoc across 6 states, including North Carolina. Governor Roy Cooper's office acknowledged reports of threats to FEMA workers and said state law enforcement is working with local authorities to identify the sources of the misinformation. And so you are saying the misinformation is that the Republican counties are not receiving aid.
Right.
Because they are Republican counties.
Yes, that's one of the pieces out there. Another one is that federal aid is actually being diverted to support the immigrants.
Oh, that's the one Trump said.
Right.
Which is absolutely unfucking true. Like, not even close to true. And it would be so tight if any of these people who lose their minds about exactly that are like, how dare they get the thing I'm supposed to get? It'd be really fucking cool if they knew who got what when. If so, you're so passionate about this, so much so that, time to get the boys out of training and get them on the ground.
And to be clear, Trump is making all of these claims. The one about withholding aid to Republican areas, he did that he posted on Truth Social.
Man, I got to get a Truth Social account.
He said, I'll be there shortly, but don't like the reports that I'm getting about the federal government and the Democrat governor of the state going out of their way not to help people in Republican areas.
I don't actually like what, and then because it's Trump, they're like, yep, that's real.
Hell yeah.
That's absolutely true.
Because he's going to tell us the truth. He's going to constantly make sure that we know what's going on. Can't count on those Democrats, to be honest. I mean,
which is obviously true.
Yeah. But imagine seeing FEMA workers come to the area and your response is, I need to endanger your life. Like, are you doing that well in this area? You don't need help? You
don't need help at all, huh?
Your neighbors don't need help?
Like, just nobody,
not... Are the militias forming to provide help? That'd be a different story.
And listen, there's a certain group that was called militant and would sometimes be referred to as a militia. And that group was the Black Panther Party, who would have been out here making sure that everybody had what they needed to their best ability. And instead, these motherfuckers out here with guns just on some like, you can't come, you can't pass here or something.
Right.
So in addition to the threats, the Washington Post reported that the U.S. Forest Service had warned other federal agencies after National Guard troops encountered what they described as an armed militia that claimed to be out hunting FEMA.
Mm.
Despite initial reports suggesting a truckload of militia was involved, authorities have since determined that Parsons acted alone. I just fucking bet he did. The situation highlights the challenges that FEMA faces in the aftermath of Helene, which killed at least 243 people, left millions without power, and was the deadliest hurricane to strike the U.S. mainland since Katrina in 2005. The agency has been battling, and we know how bad we did with that. The agency has been battling a wave of disinformation in recent weeks, including false claims about aid distribution, funding diversion, and the seizure of land from storm victims. To your point, Ambush, former President Donald Trump and his allies have also been accused of spreading misinformation, claiming falsely that federal funds meant for emergency response were directed to assist immigrants. Other debunked claims have suggested that FEMA was halting supply trucks and that the victims could receive only $750 in aid, despite evidence that the agency provides additional assistance based on need.
Right.
You know, that's an interesting... Let me just finish it out. As North Carolina continues its recovery from Helene, FEMA stressed that it remains committed to providing aid and support to those affected. However, it's crucial for the public to seek accurate information from trusted sources to avoid the confusion and fear that can arise from the spread of misinformation, otherwise known as Joe Rogan.
Jamie, can you look up how much?
Jamie, pull that up for me if you will.
Is it just $750? Are they sending any more money than that? Or is it just the $750?
What's the $750 for? Is it for paper towels, Jamie?
Right.
It's
actually for immediate relief. Boom. Let's get you some money right now, just because of what we understand is happening in this area. $750. Boom. That's it. Off the rip. Just take it. Do it. Do what you can with it.
Which, I mean,
it's a good start.
It's a no start for me. $750 makes it's $750. People's houses are destroyed. What is the $750? I mean, a hotel that's now charging $1,200 a night.
Okay, so that's an issue. That's definitely an issue.
And should we just take this second to highlight the fucking hotels, the greed of hotels and the airlines, where how the fuck dare you raise your prices, do demand pricing in full-blown natural disaster crises.
Cataclysmic.
I'm like, there are so many words literally flashing in front of my face. Like they just to get out of here. Like, imagine the 45-minute, 52-minute flight that it is from here to Seattle being $1,800, being $800, being $500. Like, what do you mean? What's supposed to happen is those billion and trillion dollar industries are supposed to fucking suck it up for once.
Right.
You're supposed to lower your prices. You're supposed to give people $25 to $50 tickets out of the place that is being swallowed by a hurricane. Like, I don't even understand how this is something that was being reported as if like that was so bad. You're raising the prices of everything that everyone needs in order to survive this thing. Huh?
I don't understand why there aren't mechanisms already in place where the government would come in and subsidize, you know what I'm saying? And put these hotels and transportation companies, whether it's buses, planes, whatever, why they wouldn't say, hey, this is what we need you to do. Because there's only so many resources, right? There's infrastructure in place already. Why not just make that free for people? Charge the government whatever you're going to charge them. Like, have that, like, we're going to see more and more and more of these things happening. The natural disasters are just going to completely increase.
To your point, the natural disasters are increasing, and the actual, like, humanitarian crises of too many people unhoused and uncared for is increasing. And the idea to do nothing about that, wild for the night, but planning for and knowing, especially in a lot of these states that have these sort of reoccurring, who deal with hurricane season. And y'all have not worked on fixing the infrastructure of the things that were there, right? And you moving forward are making things just like here when it comes to earthquake refitting and all of that. Like there's stuff that is just not up to snuff. And if we have a sizable earthquake, it's going to crumble. There's stuff that's just going to crumble. Moving forward, there are all sorts of regulations in building, code and regulations, what they are going forward to meet those standards, right? We need to be doing that same exact thing. And for these disasters, having plans in place for housing, having plans in place to get people out of there. So I don't love the idea of just charge the government whatever and we'll come back to you. There needs to be some sort of not just mechanism where they subsidize, but it needs to not cost the taxpayers so much money just for a corporation to still have a good night. You know what I mean? Like Hilton hotels, you can take the hit of however many hotels in that region or right around it where, American Airlines is sending you the state, next over that is untouched and totally fine. Nothing over there should be so expensive for people not to be able to get away.
Yeah.
Like, there needs to be mechanisms in place that go, this is a state of the emergency, which means that's this fucking promo code for everybody for everything. You buy a airline ticket with this FEMA Milton. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
All of it is too easy to do on the back end for us to even, because know that they are able to just flip that switch and know exactly how much to charge more.
Right.
They can do the same fucking thing to go down. And the idea of charging people in crisis, in the middle of actual crisis and trying to get out of a place that is under siege by a hurricane. We live in a country that prioritizes a business being able to continue to make profit rather than the people be safe out of the hurricane's fray, the earthquake's fray, whatever it is. And I want to live in a world where we don't do that. I want to live in a world where that's not the first thing you get to do as a business owner is charge more for the necessities that people need. That we can make that different. It makes it so that you don't, I don't want to patronize any of those places. I don't want to use those airlines. I don't want to stay in those hotels. And then it ends up being all of them. Right. You know what I mean? Because they're all then why is this? You doing it? You doing it? You doing it too? Okay, well.
Right.
You're literally in cahoots. So it's so fucked up. No. I very much want to flip the table. I do have a sound instead of a flip the table moment.
Yeah. I feel you on, it's ridiculous. No one should be raising their rates. That's just 100% dead ass wrong. With there being some type of voucher system discount code or something, right? I'm trying to make this as realistic as possible. I know what I would like. I would love if these airlines were doing discount ticketing. They're not in the business to do that. They are actually in the business, disaster or none, to give us the very least they can and charge us the most for it. Fine.
I mean, yes, that is what they have decided. Their businesses
they are
travel.
Capitalism ambassadors. This is how they want to do it. What I'm saying is, with the way our government is set up, the world basically championing capitalism, why then aren't you doing that? Like, you're doing everything you can to prop up business communities, right? There's bailouts. There's all sorts of things that are constantly happening. You're rolling back regulations, everything in benefit to these corporations. So then why isn't there an existing contract with these same corporations for disaster relief?
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
It's just in place. Y'all decide what the price is going to be.
Yeah.
Y'all work that shit out, because no matter what, yes, we're paying for it. We're paying for a bunch of other bullshit too. But at the very least, if we know that when a disaster hits an area, everyone from that area can go straight to the airport.
I'm not thinking about,
huh?
I'm absolutely with you.
Yeah, go straight to the airport. ID, I don't have it. I lost it. Cool. Right. Get on this flight. Here's a blanket. Here's a roll.
Write your name down.
We have a bag of clothing over here. Take that once you land as a destination. Like, what are we doing?
This country has too much, and the resources are actually too vast for us to not be ready when any of this shit happens.
Right.
Like, and ready. And I'm not saying that FEMA doesn't work hard. I don't know enough about the process, and it just always seems as if the implementation of aid is really hard, you know, right. And I do understand that there are challenges, you know, that if there's no place for a plane to land, you can't land a plane. However, when you know that a college doesn't have power, but the kids are there, you know, like, if you can airdrop on Outlast, I think you can airdrop out to these, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
These communities that you can't drive to, that you can't just get to. And I feel like how are we not just prepared for that? Like, just from the last one, when you're like, whoa, we were unable to get to all of those people when that flooded over there. We need to make sure that there's a different thing in place. Like, it's almost as if our responses to things don't have the meeting after to say what worked and what didn't.
Right.
And they just don't learn a lesson and don't implement new things until the next time. And they're like, oh, right. We went to that conference, and I think there might be like helicopters that could do something. Maybe I'll call that guy. I have his card. You know what I mean? Like, it seems so nonchalant, and I know that I'm certain it's not. But it definitely feels as if for as much time as you have in between, the planning does not get robust enough for what the scenarios are likely going to be. And so for that to be the case, like, what are we doing?
Yeah. I mean, definitely bureaucracy is to blame. The idea that the people who should be leading us through these challenges are often at odds with each other over the most foolish things. Like, I don't like the way that was worded. That leaves this open to interpret. Like, are we solving a problem fundamentally? Is the problem getting solved? Because this is literally what you're being paid to do as a legislator.
Bruh.
Like, this is like, present these types of ideas and let's get the fucking ball rolling. Because, dude, we are overdue for a cataclysmic earthquake over here.
Yeah. Not cool, guys.
Yeah. I can't even imagine if we were being pummeled the way some of these southern states are being pummeled with the weather that they're dealing with. I could not imagine.
No. And for the places that are repeatedly hit with this kind of thing, which we have not seen their power grids be upgraded. We have not seen, you know what I mean? Like, in Texas, when we had that, you know, everything froze over there.
Deep freeze, yeah.
Yeah. And they haven't recovered all the way from that. And by that, I mean, everybody has power, but they did not strengthen. You know what I'm saying? So the next time it gets cold, same thing. Then, you know, there's a hurricane, same thing. Like, it's almost like we can understand it when it's like, oh yeah, Puerto Rico's power grid is completely fucked. we can recognize that, but we can't recognize it as totally fucked in Houston, or Florida. Like, nah, these things are totally fucked. Like you don't when you don't then reinvest into that. And this is why I was like, I don't want the taxpayers to have to pay just whatever, number, because
Right.
we literally waste so much because that is how the governments work right now.
Yeah.
And I just have a different view of how that can go and how that can actually benefit all of those businesses. Like, we can negotiate to where you don't lose as many pennies that you would normally lose, but what you're not going to fucking do is charge people more money,
right,
for the necessity of a hotel, a safe room. Like,
right.
You're not going to do that. And so you're not going to pass that on to us either, anyway, we can move forward.
But I feel you. Like, it's really simple, right? Just give them, we have the contract in place.
Pay them quick, pay them fast.
Right. Pay them fast. Give them a 5% markup. You know what I'm saying? Just like, we need you to show up better than you normally would for customers in this situation. We'll give you a 5% markup, but just get it done. Just get it done. Yeah.
Honestly, I would just be so much more happy if they were like, we need it in these instances, we must have more labor, and that costs a whole shit ton of money to pay emergency workers. I'm ready to pay that all day long.
Bringing in our emergency staff and other additional resources and things like that.
My whole point of just like, you are just trying to profit off of disaster. And that is disgusting. And it should not be encouraged just because we need them to cooperate. Like, you should not in any way be willing to put people in the most vulnerable moment of their life in that time to take away abilities of their survival simply for money. Like, it is the same as, it isn't the strongest survive, it's the richest survive. And if I'm able to, that is the fuck shit of the American dream, is really, it's all about who can pay more money for the same thing. And if you can pay more money for the same thing, then I'm going to get the person who pays more money for the same thing rather than, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, there is no sense of community. There is no sense of taking care of each other. There is no sense of, like, the right thing to do right now means getting all of these people the furthest away from a hurricane they could possibly get.
Right.
And we just don't live in that world. And it's saddening. I mean, maddening, all the things, infuriating. Like, sorry, I'm taking too much time. So I do apologize.
No, we're good. I'm going to hop into the local story. Portland official faces scrutiny over ties in campaign finance probe.
Can I real quick?
Huh?
Sorry, can I just real quick? I just want to say to the chat, just check-in time. It's post intermish. So just need to know that we're all still here together doing things as we were previously. Ambush, please continue.
A Portland city official leading an investigation into alleged campaign finance violations by city commissioner and mayoral candidate Rene Gonzalez is under scrutiny for his personal and financial connections to a critic of Gonzalez, raising concerns about a potential conflict of interest. Deputy City Auditor Reed Broderson, who is overseeing the investigation, was previously in a romantic relationship with Andres Oswell, the board chair of Portland for All, a progressive advocacy group that has openly criticized Gonzalez and endorsed his rival, Commissioner Carmen Rubio. Although Broderson and Oswell are no longer together, they still co-own a North Portland home, according to the property records and statements from Broderson. Oswell lists the property in the organization's public filings.
Oh.
The investigation was prompted by a complaint filed in August by Jackie Yerby, a board member of Portland for All, who accused Gonzalez of improperly using $6,400 in taxpayer funds to update his personal Wikipedia page. The complaint followed an article by the Oregonian and Oregon Live, that highlighted the expense. Portland for All has since publicized a complaint continuing its criticisms of Gonzalez's policies and campaign. Despite calls for him to recuse himself, Broderson has defended his role in the investigation. He insists that strict protocols are in place to handle perceived conflicts of interest and says he has been transparent with colleagues about his connections. This investigation has nothing to do with the conduct of my ex-partner or his organization, which is why I do not feel the need to recuse myself, Broderson told the Oregonian. The controversy has intensified as Broderson's boss, City Auditor Simone Reed, has accused herself from overseeing campaign finance matters due to her own re-election bid. As a result, Broderson is the final authority on cases involving city office candidates, including Gonzalez. The situation has led to accusations from the Gonzalez campaign, which claims there is a substantial appearance of a conflict that could undermine public trust. I know they are not talking about undermining public trust. Not the Gonzalez campaign. No. In mid-September, Broderson initially ruled that there was no violation, citing insufficient evidence to confirm Gonzalez's use of city funds for personal electoral gain. However, he referred the case to Oregon Secretary of State for further investigation. Earlier this month, Broderson said new information had emerged, prompting the auditor's office to reopen the case with a final decision expected by the end of October. Broderson maintained that any decisions will be based strictly on the evidence gathered by his team. The office needs to be able to discharge its mandatory charter duties to investigate candidates, he said, emphasizing that the investigation is not influenced by personal connections. He argued that requiring recusal in such situations would stifle the office's work and impede free speech. The case has reignited debates over ethics and impartiality within city government, particularly in the election season where campaign finance practices and accountability are in the spotlight. Gonzalez's campaign manager, Amy Wood, called for greater transparency, urging the auditor's office to disclose all potential conflicts to maintain public confidence in the electoral process. So let me get this straight. When the investigation started and Broderson didn't move forward saying there wasn't sufficient evidence, the conflict of interest was not a concern to the Gonzalez campaign.
This is what I'm hearing.
Upon it coming back and there being additional information, now it's
more to look at.
Could this person even be investigating?
I mean, that's how I'm hearing. That's how I'm reading. And again, unserious. Like, is this that? Because that's what that sounds like. There is an interesting thing to me that there's this like ability to call out a conflict of interest when there may not be one.
Right.
But when they are glaring and they are apparent, and it's like, couldn't see that if I fucking wanted to, you know, like, no idea. Could we please be serious for once?
Not with Renee involved. There's no seriousness there.
We literally can't.
No.
I know we started with Renee and I spoke too much about it. I just, I can't say enough just how detrimental that ineptitude will be to our new form of government.
Yeah.
Will be to the citizens of our city. Like, I can't explain it enough. So I'm sorry. I'm going to keep telling you how bad he is. I'm going to keep telling you how much of a joke he is. This is a job. And in his mind, the job is obstruction. He does not want any of the things that are plaguing the city to be changed in any way other than make people go to jail. And even in that, isn't smart enough to recognize that there are other mechanisms than the police. And there's not just the arrest, throw in the county jail, because there's endless places to be in the Multnomah County Jail. Like there's so much more to it, and they don't even mention, like this fucking idiot is trying to get graffiti to be a mandatory minimum 7 days in jail situation.
Right.
This same person is out here with graffiti campaign shit, like you are painting on buildings. I don't care if the person said to you, yes, please, can't wait, put it right here.
You're still doing it, and it's harmful to my eyes.
You're still doing it, and you're still doing it. It's the same thing that you're saying is this ugly blight. You know what I mean? That shows us that we are, living in Gotham City. That's what it is. It's never art. It's never, you know what I mean? So if it's not art, and then is it really campaign ads? Is that the thing? Like, I don't know. Hypocrisy is like really annoying to point out a lot, but when it is so prevalent and all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And there's no like pushback to it. The people that support this person don't care. They don't care that any of the things that he's asking for, he hasn't even actually like thought about, does this work? Could this even happen? He is last minute, all the fucking time, trying to add amendments, trying to add new shit that nobody's heard of. Then all of a sudden they got to read this thing real quick and you know what I'm saying? Like, you got other city council members looking like assholes too.
Yeah, he's on this Tiffany
for
real.
Those idiots that do trust, and you were like, yeah, I endorse what he said, and then they read it and they're like, oh shit, Reimagine Oregon didn't even get the money. Like, you got everybody looking stupid, and I can't believe that this is even like an idea, that this is even like for real.
Right,
it pisses me off beyond belief. Another thing that pisses me off beyond belief is today, George Floyd would have been celebrating his 51st birthday. And there is this warped sense of what justice is. And we think that catching the person that did the thing and putting him in jail for however long we do that is justice. Justice is this man would have been alive because no police officer would have killed him.
Right.
That's justice. There is nothing that makes this okay just because his killer was held responsible. It is great in the way of police officers not being held accountable for these or responsible for these kind of things, murders or killings.
Right. Let's close on the story that's more of a positive note.
I love that.
More of a humorous note.
Also like to laugh.
And that is Elon getting called out for doing what he normally does, steal people's ideas and claim them as his own.
Ooh.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk unveiled the company's latest autonomous products at the We Robot event on last Thursday, including the self-driving Cybercab, Robovan, and the humanoid Optimus robot. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. The first time I heard that this robot's name was Optimus.
Right.
Yeah. However, the announcement has sparked a controversy after Alex Proyas, director of the 2004 sci-fi film I, Robot, one of my faves, accused Musk of copying designs from his movie. In a post on X, Proyas shared side-by-side images comparing Tesla's prototypes with similar designs from his film, which is based on Isaac Asimov's classic short story collection. And he said, "Hey, Elon, can I have my designs back, please?" Proyas wrote that, drawing mixed reactions from social media users, while some criticized Musk for lacking originality. Criticizing Musk for being Musk. Others defended
seriously,
him.
like I'm trying to allow you to get through a story for once, and I'm just like I want to scream already.
Yeah, arguing that Tesla could succeed where Hollywood concepts have not. Proyas and Musk have not responded to requests for comment. However, this is not the first time Tesla's designs have been compared to futuristic film aesthetics. In 2019, Tesla's Cybertruck drew comparisons to the sleek metallic car from Paul Verhoeven's Total Recall, stirring a similar debate about the convergence of science fiction and reality. The We Robot event, which had been the fact that it's called We Robot and the original's iRobot is crazy, man.
You're literally doing it. You're just, what do we mean?
The We Robot event, which has been delayed from its original August date, highlighted Musk's vision for an autonomous future. The Tesla CEO declared that fully self-driving taxis and vans could hit the roads by next year, with the promise of revolutionizing transport. Musk also presented the Optimus robots, which greeted attendees by flashing peace signs and serving drinks, describing them as a step forward towards making goods and services more affordable and accessible. It says it will be an age of abundance, the likes of which almost no one has envisioned.
Oh,
Musk said during his presentation, underscoring his ambition to disrupt not just the automotive industry, but everyday life. Despite the enthusiasm, Tesla investors appeared less convinced by Musk's ambitious claims. By Friday, Tesla shares had dropped by 8%, closing at around $219.50 share. Analysts have noted that concerns about Tesla's ability to deliver on its self-driving promises and ongoing production challenges may have contributed to the decline. Proyas' criticism of Musk has rekindled a broader debate about the influence of science fiction on modern technology. Over the years, real-world innovations like refuse-collecting robots resembling Pixar's WALL-E and wireless earbuds akin to those in Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451 have shown how life often imitates art. Whether Musk designs are a case of inspiration or imitation, the conversation highlights how science fiction continues to shape technological visions. As the controversy unfolds, all eyes remain on Musk and Tesla to see if the company can bring its futuristic concepts to life, fulfilling its CEO's promise of a new era of autonomous travel and robotics.
Can I add to this? Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
No.
While he is busy stealing other people's designs and making a thing that existed in a movie and saying that, nope, this all came from my brain or whatever it is that he does.
Sound like Laszlo.
While that's happening, Donald Trump is in interviews saying that he plans to make Elon Musk the Secretary of Cost Cutting, because to be clear, that is not a current cabinet position, but he is going to make it that because Elon wants to have that because he's really good at cutting costs. And so it's a country, totes ovs, you need a really good businessman who can make a bunch of deals or something like that. I just want to say the Secretary of Cost Cutting, I am not asking for, the Queen's fucking English here. But the Secretary of Cost Cutting? Because I'm good?
The Supreme Couponer.
Fam!
Czar of savings.
Absolutely trust a person who coupons on a very serious level far more than I trust Elon Musk to do anything.
Hell yeah. At
all. And I mean, I trust that person more to do anything than I trust Elon to put his shoes on. Like,
absolutely.
Right? Like this is, and here you have this senile old man talking about, really, I need to ask Elon, because he's the one who says let me ask another person because I'm going to have Elon. He's dying to do this. He's a great cost cutter. You've seen that. And he said, I could cut costs without affecting anybody. Elon Musk doesn't know what that means. In order to be a billionaire, you have to affect somebody. We already know how many people he has affected, and then he has actually then gone on to union bust and fire those people and make shittier conditions for them to work in. We know what cutting costs looks like for billionaires. They absolutely impact and affect people. And the idea that Elon has any idea who gets affected by anything is wild as fuck to me. Because do you know? And if you did, do you care? Because here you are, none of the costs that you're cutting are supposed to equal slave labor. Right. And so if the costs cut mean whatever the thing was is now the fast version of that, and it's coming from China because China can produce in a different way than us, you're not helping.
Not at all.
You got to stop looking at this shit like a fucking business. And to that end, Michelle in the chat, what would it be like if the government and corporations were actually balancing one another instead of being one giant capitalism mecca? Like, damn. What would it be like if the government actually did things for the citizens rather than for industry? We don't know what that looks like here.
Yeah.
And we should be demanding that every single day, every single way, every single election. We should be talking about the fact that they aren't doing what we want them to do yet. And until they do, they don't get voted in. Like,
it's like they're in the same business, honestly. The government supports industry. Industry exploits the consumer.
Yeah, they're just one big giant capitalism mechanism. That's it. That's literally it. They're feeding off each other rather than like it could literally balance each other.
Absolutely.
It could absolutely be a balance. And instead of that, here we are dealing with actual millions of people dying all the time from capitalism. Our brains are actually changing. Our genetics are changing in many different ways because of capitalism. And however they have been able to make that such a fucking dirty word and make that mean that you are, a radical, I don't know, leftist that is ready to bomb something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know what they think. If that's what it meant, like, I just want government that fucking works for us.
Right.
I don't want government to work more for industry than it works for us. And somehow that's radical. And I think that's bullshit. Like, I think that it's far out for you to be like, no, actually.
Right.
So anyway. Sorry, I made us go over.
It's quite all right. It's quite all right. We don't have anything coming up event-wise, do we? I'm trying to think.
Not at the moment.
Oh,
I don't.
This Sunday.
Oh,
no requests.
Yes.
It is Doomsday. It's our MF Doom tribute. Feel free to dress up. It's like an early Halloween party, You got some costumes you want to don. If you're saving them for actual Halloween, no problems, no issues.
That's this Sunday? Does anybody have a short wig that I can borrow so that I can be Guillermo from the Shadows? I have my entire outfit ready. Forgot to get the wig. Don't know that I can get that in this short amount of time.
Oh, Gizmo.
Yeah. I'm excited.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So yes, we will be at White Eagle on Russell. McMiniman's White Eagle. On Russell this Sunday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Myself and DJ Cliff doing what we do. MF Doom tribute. So it's MF Doom slaps all night. This is also the 20th anniversary at New Food. So, got some remixes popping for y'all. But yeah, y'all know the vibe. Come through. Check it out. We actually, we did an interview together, Cliff and myself, talking about not just the upcoming event, but just talking about, no requests as a concept and the things we hoped to achieve with it, some of the highlights of working together, some of the awesome moments that have happened over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And, where we're looking to go with it for the future. It's, I think he has a link on his Instagram, but I will start posting some clips from the No Request DJ's Instagram account. So definitely head over there, check that out, get a chance, check out the full interview. But yeah.
Okay, well, that's another news with My Fiance. Monday Night Raw live. In person live Raw.
Boom.
In the books. Thank y'all for spending this quality time with us. This episode was made possible by us. And by that, I mean Ambush. Shout out to Kyle for making sure that we know what's going on the other end.
I know that's right.
To Jess for showing up and showing out as always. Michelle and Rossum, shout out to y'all in the chat. I already know Ross is like making notes and is going to tell us why we shouldn't have done a thing, Just kidding. He doesn't do that.
Definitely shout out to our subscribers. We are at 86 on the YouTube. Shout out to the patrons. We picked up another patron.
Shout out to the patrons. Hi, Ella. How you doing, boo?
I got to update the crawl.
Yeah.
At the end of the episodes now.
We need that.
Some additional names in there.
Definitely,
stay engaged with us all week. Follow us on IG, News of My Fiance. You can follow me at ScamBeezy. And you can follow Morgan Jones at Cortland Morgan. Become a member, sock it to your pockets, sock it to our pockets, rather.
Our pockets, not your pockets.
Patreon.com/News of My Fiance. And while you're at it, treat yourself to a trinket or two.
Well, you can't do that yet.
In the coming future.
Yes.
Over at the merch store.
Because the merch store is almost done.
It's almost done.
I'm just 7 months behind. And that happens. No excuses other than things are hard.
Thanks, Kyle. But hey, you know the deal. Don't let the individuals distract you from the systems. Poverty is a policy choice. People over profits. And we will see you Thursday morning, 7:30 a.m. on X-Ray FM.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. And you can catch this show streaming live on YouTube every Monday night from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And our podcast episodes are available everywhere you listen to podcasts except Spotify.